Happy Monday. All right, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen something and you know this is not going to work? What in the world are they thinking? But you question, should I say something? Should I what can I do to really let them know this isn't the way to go? Or should I just leave it alone and let them do their thing and find out on their own? Well, that happened to me back in the day. Well, let's just start by backtracking. So, my whole life, I had been an entertainer for Nickelodeon, Universal Studios, special events, warming up crowds. I was used to work. I knew how my expertise was dealing with live, family friendly crowds, and I knew how to do it. I knew what would work. I knew what you had to stay away from. I knew certain things that you never ever wanted to do and that could get you in trouble. And I knew the formula to make, we had these jokes that we'd make it seem like we were just thinking them on the spot. But no, actually we we developed them through like watching each other's shows. We found something that worked and we used it over and over and over again. Anyway, I decided eventually that I was going to leave the world of entertainment and go into management because I was sick of being a starving actress. Because I was only as good as my show being open, and when it closed, I was scrambling for another job. So I wanted a little more stability. So I went into leadership at Universal Studios Hollywood. Now, of course, I my first love is always entertainment. So I always was kind of watching what was going on with the entertainment world. And they opened one show. One summer, they opened this big show. It was The Creature from the Black Lagoon. And it was getting all these, management was talking about it and all these. I was seeing it from the perspective of a management and leadership at Universal. So I was watching management and they were talking about how great this was going to be. It was going to be groundbreaking. It was going to be something never done before. The special effects, everything were just going to be amazing. And they were expecting this show to just really blow people's minds. Well, we finally got to see the preview. And I remember sitting in the preview I'm in leadership at this point, but I've got the knowledge of being an actor in the field, knowing what works for a live crowd and what doesn't. So I'm sitting there watching, and as I'm watching, all the things you should never do were in this show. Oh boy, let me just say, A Creature from the Black Lagoon had it was, I will start by saying this, it was an amazing set, amazing talent, amazing actors. The special effects were phenomenal. However, the content lacked a little stuff. For one, the creature from the Black Lagoon, let's just say he was a little perverted. He would one song, if you Google it, you might even be able to find it. But one song he's up on the stage and he's like going, I'm hungry for, and you're like, oh my God, he is implying that he is hung. And then of course they go on and you're like, okay, well maybe that's just, a little laugh for the, little wink wink for the adults. Because every now and then you could kind of throw in a kid joke and let the, for the adults to kind of like, oh, I can't believe they said that. That's so funny. But no, it got worse. Oh no. So he ends up like literally at like the end, he eats a thing of Viagra and grows into this massive, huge monster and ends up eating like the love of his life. And I was like, yeah, the Viagra, that's pretty much, that's going to have a lot of kids asking questions there. They have got a lot of references to private parts in this movie, a lot of sexual innuendo that really, I don't think will play well to the family friendly crowds. But as I'm watching it and then the show got over, I was like, oh boy. I was just kind of like looking around and all the execs were like, wow, we got a home run with this one. This one's great. Oh, this is gonna, and I'm sitting there going, are they crazy? There's no way. This is gonna be like a nightmare. This is going to be a public relations nightmare. And I thought, and at the time I was at guest services as one of the managers, and we worked hand in hand with guest relations. I'm like, whoo, get ready for the storm to come, because once people's families start seeing this, they're going to head straight to guest relations, because they're, for one, going to have to try and explain to their kids what Viagra is and why this monster was gyrating over, flying over the crowd, gyrating at them. So, of course, it happened. The show opened, the big fanfare. Families sat expecting this to be kind of a fun show for the family, and they were literally walking out in droves. People were just walking out, and they weren't just walking out, they were heading straight to guest services, where we had to be there, and we had to sit and say, oh yeah, yeah, well, and what could you say? It's like, oh yeah, it wasn't really meant to be sexually, all the sexual innuendos. It was just sort of a fun thing, the special effects man. You couldn't really say anything. So at that point, you're just kind of like, oh yeah, sorry. Here's a gay day pass to get in front of a line to make up for the time you spent at that show that you do with your family. And sorry, you have to explain to your kid what Viagra is and why he's eating his girlfriend. It was horrible, and the after effects were horrible. So I spent millions of dollars on this show, and as quick as it went up, it quickly went down, because they were starting to see the aftermath of what was happening there. And one thing that I will say that I love is that even after it went down and they were kind of able to take a step back and say, oh yeah, wasn't the best idea to do that, they were able to laugh about it. They were able to have a good laugh about it. We were in a management meeting, and all of a sudden the creature from the Black Lagoon comes out to start off the meeting, because was kind of like the elephant in the room. And so he comes out, and they do like a big joke about, yeah, get out of here, you caused enough problems, or something like that. And everybody just busted out laughing, because they didn't know what to think. But at that point, it was universal acknowledging, yeah, you know what, we tried something, we screwed up, it didn't work, and learn from our mistake, and let's move on. And I love that. There's so many lessons I got from the creature of the Black Lagoon. Number one was that, trust your gut, trust your instinct, know what you know. Just because some executives think that they've got the perfect solution, perfect formula, if they haven't been in the field and they don't know what it's like out there, they don't necessarily know. But those people that have, like, I had been immersed in that industry, I had been immersed in live entertainment. I knew exactly when the people would start walking out, and they did. So trust what you know. If you have a opinion on something, don't be afraid to step up and say, hey, just want to make you aware, this might not be such a good idea. I don't think families are going to react too well to it. However, I didn't, and not that they would have even listened to me. They might have just said, oh, thanks for the thought, Kelly, but we're going to do it our way. And then it's like, then at that point, it's just like, okay, I'll get the gay day passes ready to hand out. And the other one that I love is Universal Studios, how they saw that, okay, we screwed up. We screwed up $1 million mistake here. This was bad. But we're going to laugh about it. We're not going to beat ourselves up, and we're going to move on. And then they did move on, and they built some amazing attractions after, like Harry Potter World. That was a huge win, a huge success. All the different shows they had after that, they were special effects stages with a lot of my friends in. So they allowed themselves to be human. They allowed themselves to make mistakes, and they allowed themselves to move on. And I think that's something I can learn from too, and you can learn from too, is, we're going to screw up. We're going to do things we don't wish we should have done. We're going to have these cringe-worthy moments. We're like, oh, why did I say that? And then don't let it eat you up. Don't let it eat you up like the creature ate the lady. Just let it, have a laugh about it. That's really the best thing you can do is just kind of have a laugh about it. It's like, oh God, that was really crazy. And it'll make a great story later on. And then move on because there's no sense in dwelling in it. And definitely, they say don't take yourself too seriously. There's a in 12-step recovery when they started Alcoholics Anonymous, they tried to do with all this amazing stuff and it didn't go very well. And they finally made a list of like 61 rules that people had to follow in it. That didn't that, alcoholics did not take to having these rules. And when they stopped, when they found out you can't tell an alcoholic anything, you definitely can't have 61 rules to make things work, then they put in the final rules, rule 62. Don't take yourself too damn seriously. And so that's what you got to remember today. Don't take yourself too damn seriously. Enjoy life. If you screw up, that's okay. Just learn from it, move on. All right. I think this might be even similar to what I said last week, but that was the theme of the week. That's what's on my mind. So hopefully you got something from it, and I will see you next week for another edition of Monday Messages. Bye.